Welcome to Scrolling to Death. I am back with Titania Jordan of Bark Technologies. Hi, Titania.
Hi, Nikki. It's so good to see you, as always.
I thought you were going to go, woo, 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 or what did you do
Thought
last
about it. I thought about it, but I'm trying to chill.
I saw your mouth make the shape, and then I was like,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
We're just going to get right. We already did our catch up beforehand. Sorry. There's lots of personal stuff in there. But we are going to just get right into the topic for today, which is our kids' first phone. Listen, at some point we have to get our kids a phone. What is that phone going to be? So iPhone dropped in 2007. And since then, the majority of parents are getting their teens iPhones and Androids, but mostly iPhones.
In the U.S.
In the U.S., yes. Isn't that crazy? I saw that there's 3 times the amount of Android users in other countries than iPhone users.
Yes, it's wild. I'd be interested to know how much Apple spent on marketing in the U.S. versus outside of the U.S. But It's another podcast for another day.
Well, and why everyone else in the world goes Android, or the majority, maybe it actually is better for a number of reasons that we aren't aware of here.
Yeah. All the colleagues that I respect who work in technology fields have always been staunchly supportive of Android over Apple. Okay. So anyway.
But when we talk about teenagers, there's a recent survey that showed that 88% of teens have an iPhone. Many get their first one in middle school or earlier.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I feel really strongly that a child's first phone should not be an iPhone. And there's lots of reasons why I believe this, why I know you believe this too. Today, I'd like to focus on the reasons why parents do choose an iPhone and then kind of address each of those reasons individually.
Sure.
Let's just start with what comes to mind for you. Like, most parents give their kids an iPhone because
Because they have an iPhone and so they're used to it. They have an iPhone that they want to upgrade to the newer one and just pass down the older one, so cost saving. They feel pressured to give in to what their children are asking for. Okay. Their children are asking for, the Lamborghini of smartphones when they really just need the Honda. They believe their children when their children say they're going to be left out. Mm-hmm. If they have a green bubble versus a blue bubble, they'll be made fun of. I'll stop there. Those are
let's touch on each of those individually. And I think there's a bit to say about each one. I mean, you said like the parents are used to it. Maybe they have a MacBook computer and then they have an iPhone. The parent does. So they think, oh, I want a phone that connects most easily to my devices, and that would be the iPhone 2. What do you feel are there some hidden risks, though, to this type of seamless integration?
Overall, Apple prioritizes privacy, not child safety. If you really want to go deep on this, follow the work of the HEAT Initiative. I know you and I support that organization so much. And there's a reason why adults love Apple, whether it's the user interface or the privacy, the delight, the marketing. It's cool. It works. It's easy. It's intuitive. Sorry, my mind is spinning with all the things that parents don't know about Apple. And it's just,
I know.
It's frustrating. There's a lot. But what parents don't realize is that Apple makes basically everything easy except parental controls. You want to download music? Great. You want to Face ID, unlock or lock something? Cool. You want to try to keep your kids online and offline at very specific times, not allow apps, not send nudes? Good luck.
So parents might think that the connection or the integration between the phones means that they can protect their kids better. And you're saying that's not true.
That's not true.
Why not? Why don't they allow parents to better protect their kids through Apple's screen time settings?
Well, one reason is not necessarily an allowance type thing, but a bug thing. Apple's parental controls are broken. There have been multiple reports for 3 or 4 years now of parents doing the right thing, following the correct steps, and children circumventing them by, let's say, changing the time zone so the screen time rules don't apply, or just repeatedly asking for one more minute. There's multiple ways. Even every time Apple releases a new iOS, those settings can be reset without the parent's permission or knowledge. Apple doesn't rate apps appropriately. There's no, like, governing body saying, "Hey, this app is actually rated 16 plus or 4
Right.
plus." It's completely user-generated ratings.
Ratings. Right.
Way
Right.
too
Right.
much. Ratings is not a word.
Right.
The fact that, if your child downloads an app, let's say you let your child download Snapchat and
Yeah.
then you realize that was a really bad idea. They can delete it from their phone in front of your face, but because it's already been downloaded, they can just re-download it again to another device. There's no stopping of deleting of apps, once they've been downloaded.
And these are all things that are choices that Apple has made to allow children to have more expanded access because the goal is engagement, eyes on screen, eyes on the apps that they provide through their app store. So they could make these just small adjustments that you've rattled off to better protect kids, but they choose not to.
So back to that, I went on. It's so easy to go off on a tangent when it comes to Apple. So you're gonna have to keep redirecting me.
Yeah, it's okay. I will.
But just the Apple ecosystem, again, revolves around privacy. It was built with adults in mind. So
Mhm.
now you're having to think about how to protect children, yet still be cool Apple that prioritizes privacy.
Right,
And you can't have privacy and a safe digital experience for children
right.
coexist really within the Apple ecosystem as it stands.
Mhm.
So, a lot of parents like you and I raised concerns about the fact that an iPhone allows a child to take a nude photo, that photo saves to the camera roll, the child can then send it, therefore participating in storing of and distributing child sexual abuse material. Whereas the
Right,
Bark phone doesn't even allow you to take that photo and save that photo because we built it for the child in mind.
right,
So they heard a lot of pushback. Parents were very upset. So then Apple came out with this communication safety feature, which, if you even know about it, A, and then B, turn it on, will blur sensitive imagery. But Apple also thinks that at age 13, your child becomes an adult. Well, you and I both know that many 13-year-olds are making bad choices, let alone 17-year-olds. I'll
right.
stop there because I'm sure you have a lot you want to say.
So, talk about the Bark integration with the iPhone. Like, what can a parent expect if they decide, like, so if they say, okay, I'm going to forego the like seamless integration from my iPhone with my kid's iPhone and go with a Bark phone. Like,
Seamless.
how does the integration work?
Yeah, so that's a misconception that a lot of parents have, is that if they have an iPhone, they can't get their kid a Bark phone, which is an Android, or manage their child's Bark phone from their iPhone. And the good news is that you can. On my iPhone, I can open up my Bark app, which can control my child's Bark phone from the Bark app. So it's actually even more seamless
Mm-hmm.
because our controls actually work. We're very clear about what you can and can't do and when, and it's not going to change on you, and children
Right,
can't circumvent it. It's
right.
amazing.
Let's move to the next one, which is like kids think an iPhone is cooler, right? Kids are really status symbols are sort of important to them.
Mhm.
These Stanley cups and
Yeah.
e-bikes and all these like fancy things that they think makes them cooler or fit in. And so are you worried? Like, what would you say to a parent who's like, I want them to fit in. I don't want them to be bullied for not having an iPhone like all the other kids.
Yeah, that is a hard one. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, just don't worry about it." I get it. You want your child to fit in.
Mhm.
I get it. But there's something to be said for not making everything about their life smooth and perfect,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Are you gonna buy them an expensive brand new vehicle because they wanna fit in? Do they always get the latest tennis shoe or Lululemon or whatever outfit? Like, where do you draw the line?
Right.
Perhaps you can let them fit in with other things, other less dangerous purchases,
Mhm.
but then hold firm on that, like, "Hey, this Bark phone" I have one over there, like, "This Bark
Here,
phone"
I have one.
great, yeah, "This Bark
So cool.
phone, it's a smartphone. It's a smartphone." Yeah, there you go. Like, it doesn't have the little Apple logo, and you know what? You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be fine.
You're gonna be fine. And I honestly think that this is changing. I've been hearing from many parents who have teens,
Yeah.
and they're saying that kids kids who are on their phones a lot are getting bullied, actually. They're calling them screenagers or like YouTube kids. And so
Good.
maybe we're approaching this cultural moment where like having a safer phone or a more minimalist phone is actually cool. I hope.
Yes. Yes. No. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I think I know what
No,
you're.
tell me more. Like, wouldn't that be amazing?
Well, it is because we're getting emails all the time to ask if we'll participate in smartphone alternative device fairs. And we're like, yes. And we show up, and there's not only us, the Bark phone, but there's the light phone and flip phones
Mhm.
and like old school phones with like landlines that, I
Yeah.
mean, it's cool to be retro. I
Yeah.
remember when the Barbie movie came out, they made a Barbie flip phone. Like,
Mhm.
iPhone is no longer the standard of cool and acceptance.
Right.
There are many, many options, and children, thankfully, are waking up to the fact that we've all been fooled,
Mhm.
and not only fooled, but robbed of precious time and connectivity in real life that we could have had with each other. And we're not allowing that anymore. We're standing up for ourselves and taking back the most precious resource we have, which is our time. It's fleeting, and
Yeah.
Apple doesn't get it all anymore.
And the Bark phone and similar products allow us to like, our kids are gonna be excited by any access that they have, and you can give them a few apps to start with. They'll be excited about that because they're going from nothing to some fun things that they can do or some useful things that they can use through that device. We don't need to give them access to the world all in one go, and that's what iPhones do. Even if you try to limit it, there's so many backdoors just to the internet that they can get through to. So, it's about for me, it's gonna be like an iPhone is an adult isn't a and not even an adult phone, it's like a phone that some adults use,
Mhm.
and then there's kids' phones, there's safe phones, and this is the option. I think, like, regarding worry about your kid being cool, okay, find one other family. Find 1 to 2 other families that will get a simpler phone with you, and then your kid won't be the only one if that's what you're so worried about, but that's not on my priority list.
Well, and if you truly are worried that you're the only one, I'm here to tell you you're not. We have a company that helps to protect over 7.5 million children across the nation. A
Yeah,
large majority of our users have Bark phones. So you're definitely not alone. And if you're like, well, who are they? Like, feel free to join the Facebook group if you're on Facebook. And I get it if you're not, but if you're on Facebook, you can join Parenting in a Tech World Facebook group. There's over 650,000 parents in there, some of which whose kids have Bark phones, and you can
yeah,
connect and, like, let your kid know they're not alone.
right. Okay, great. So next I want to go to cost because I often see like deals for free iPhones, or parents often have an old iPhone in their drawer, so it's free. But there's a problem there when they're giving them out for free. Like, what are you actually getting for free? Is it really free? What do you feel about cost arguments here?
There's so much to say here from a philosophical standpoint.
I know. Yeah, you can just
It's
speak.
it's if you can afford any phone, iPhone, Bark phone, whatever phone, it's easy to go back and forth about the cost of mental health and the cost
Mhm.
of
I know.
fitting in and all of that.
Yeah.
I will say that if your family is incredibly price sensitive and you have a free iPhone sitting around, or your carrier says you get this free iPhone if you sign a 2-year contract for service, I understand why you would maybe want to choose that route. You've got to do what's best for your family. But if they're locking you into a contract, that's still a monthly cost. And
Mhm.
so if you can go with a safer smartphone that offers you a monthly payment plan, you can do that. You can do that with Bark and others. I would
And
just say,
those monthly costs really quick, I moved over to Spectrum because they had such a good deal
yeah,
and got a deal on an iPhone. But then 6 months later, my monthly bill doubled, and I didn't know that was
no,
they didn't say that.
no, uh-uh.
I know.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that at Bark. We're not gonna double your bill. That's
Yeah,
just rude.
and it feels like something I'm like, "God, who am I gonna call? Am I gonna spend hours on the phone trying to deal with that?" No. So, I just give in, but that's not good business practice.
No, 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 it's not.
Also, I feel like you're giving up so much for getting that free device. It's like, with social media. It's like it's free, but you're the product and you're giving away all your data and, all of these things in order to use that for free. I feel similarly about iPhones.
You're not saying never, it's just not right now. It's the same like when your kid turns 16 and they want a car, are you going to give them a Ferrari with no seatbelt and no car insurance and no driver's education?
Yeah.
That's what parents are doing when they give their kid an iPhone.
Mhm.
It's not wise. It's just not wise.
Mm-mm.
If Apple had quality parental controls, actually prioritized child safety, minimized child abuse, especially child sexual abuse,
Mhm.
alerted parents when their children had encountered dangers, I think you and I both would be like, go get Apple.
Right.
But they don't.
And we're not giving up on them. Like, there's a lot of pressure we're putting through Heat Initiative.
Mhm.
Keep an eye on them, like you mentioned before, because we're putting direct pressure on these companies. If you're going to market a product to kids, then it should be safe for kids. And there's very specific things they can do. So in the meantime, like, we're putting pressure on Apple to
Yep.
a lot of organizations to try to force them to make their products safer. But currently, it's not. And so, like you said, it is not a wise choice for children.
No, I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to choose between two pieces of tech that allow your kids to call and text people that you have allowed them to call and text, and one of them allows children to hide things from you without your knowledge, and the other one will send you an alert via text and email when there's predators or bullying or mental health issues or explicit sexual content. Like, which one are you going to choose?
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Right.
And Apple, based on their stance on privacy,
Mhm.
will probably never go that route because it would be in conflict with the stance that they've taken on privacy.
And can you speak a little more to privacy? Because there are some parents who are like, well, I want to give my children privacy,
Yeah,
right? So
totally.
what's the right balance, if any?
Sure. Yeah, and that's the cool thing about Bark, and that's why I work for Bark instead of another company, because there are other safer smartphones for kids. There's other parental control companies on the market, but a lot of the other players in this space, I have a great deal of respect for, but they lean more towards spyware or they don't have flexibility to grow with your child. In particular, you asked about privacy, and so at Bark, we don't give parents full unfettered access to everything their kid's doing on the device or in the apps. We're just going to send you an alert to like a small snippet of something that could be problematic, give you some insight, help you understand how to talk with your kid, and then you take it from there. We're not giving you every keystroke, every message, every photo, every web search, because a lot of them aren't relevant. So we're trying to give
Right.
you what's important, what's necessary to help foster a dialogue. Our goal is to help you and your child build a relationship and not contribute to a friction-heavy relationship because they feel like they're being spied on.
Mm-hmm. And that's the problem that a lot of groups talk about. It's like once you give that tech, it becomes a constant fight in the household. We want to avoid that. And that's why I want to delay all of these decisions as long as possible, but that can't happen forever. And so I want to do it in a way that fosters our relationship, our positive relationship, and not in a way that's going to cause fights. And so I don't want them to be able to hide stuff from me and access inappropriate things because that's just going to cause issues. I don't want the addictive apps. So having a phone that does me all these favors regarding protecting my child is the obvious option. The last thing it kind of brings me to parents don't know. So a lot of parents don't know that there's safer options, right?
Right.
And how, I know that that's like your whole marketing plan. It's like make sure every parent knows there's a safer option. I don't know. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like, how do we try to get these products in front of more parents?
I'm glad you asked. Real quick, I just thought of one more thing, which is like Apple offers incognito mode.
Oh,
Like, why give your kid a product that is encouraging incognito browsing? Like,
I know.
no,
I know.
that's for adults. Anyway, I digress. That's a whole
Yeah,
other podcast
totally.
of all the things. What do we do? How do we help educate parents that safer options exist? Right? Well, you have to talk about it. You can't be afraid to be judged. You have to be confident. That's one thing I wish I had more of was confidence when my son was younger. Whenever I felt like something wasn't right, I kept it to myself. I just kinda thought, "Well, if everybody else is doing that, I
Mhm.
guess that's okay," when it came to letting him play Roblox before he should have or having a smartphone before he should have. But when
Mhm.
you feel that something isn't right because you have tangible data and case studies to point to, and we now do, you have to sound the alarm. You have to let parents know whether you're posting about it on social media or you're going to PTO meetings or book clubs or mom meetups or at soccer practice or anywhere. Just let parents know when their kids are asking for a way to text or call their friends, they actually can in a
Mhm.
safer way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've found, a lot of times you're out in the world and you see a kid with an iPhone and you think to yourself, God, I wish I could find a way that's not judgmental or argumentative or anything to like talk to the parent about how unsafe that is. I haven't figured that out yet, but what I do like to do is if I see a kid or a teen using an alternative phone, calling that out either to the
Yeah.
kid or teen or to the parent being like, I love that. That's so cool that you're using that safer phone. Or similarly, like if you're at a restaurant and you see a family with the kids at the table who are not on devices, I like to go up to them and say, great job. Like, thank you for not giving them a device. Let's normalize that. So I think like there's a way to encourage positive use through those type of interactions rather than like judging people.
I agree, but I just thought about this, like, if you saw a bunch of toddlers playing with fire, you'd be like, you'd find the water, you'd put it out, you'd look for an adult, you'd be like, "What is happening?"
I noticed on it.
What we've
Yeah.
been doing.
It makes me ill. Like, it makes me ill when I see it, and I'll see kids, like, on the swing set, not swinging, holding a phone, and I see their grandma sitting on the bench, and I just
And she's on her phone.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that there's just not, like, a great way. I probably could start trying to figure out those conversations, but there's not a great way to not sound judgmental or get that defensive, interaction right away. So, maybe we could start trying to figure out how to have those conversations because it does make me ill, though, to see that, especially the younger the child is.
We need billboards across the nation that say,
Yeah. On
"Fri"
the benches at the
Yeah,
playgrounds.
yeah, benches, billboards, the signs that people hang on ball fields.
Mhm.
Friends don't let friends give their kids iPhones. Like,
Oh, I love that.
we
That's a good
actually have
one.
that mocked up, but our
Oh,
legal won't
good.
let us use it.
Why?
'Cause iPhones
Oh,
Apple
they'll
has a lot of money and they're litigious.
oh, no. Okay.
But I'm
Come
like,
on.
"Come on."
So regarding like safer options, there's Bark phone and other phones that were built safe for kids.
Yeah,
But even before that, we didn't talk about watches. We just focused on phones today. But
right.
there's Bark Watch and other options. But also like flip phones, which if you just want the talk or text, soon we're gonna start with a landline phone. There's Tin Can. Have you heard of that one?
Yes, yeah.
I'm loving that like retro looking phone. So I'm gonna once I think they're just on pre-order right now. So once that's available, that will allow our kids to start just learning how to converse with people on the phone, which I think is like a skill I don't want kids to lose.
Yep,
Like conversation face to face and over the phone is important. And I think too, a lot of parents have younger kids who are maybe already asking or we're talking about it. And my daughter actually asked me recently, what will my first phone be? Because she saw that Bark phone in the drawer and she's like, is it going to be my first phone? And I said, probably, but like, listen, you're 9. It could be years away. Like, who knows what new options from this company or other companies will become available. But it will be the safest option for your age and your developmental stage. And that's it. So starting those conversations with like whatever's safest when I'm ready is kind of the answer for me.
and they might not love that answer, but overall they will because it's reinforcing the fact that you care about their safety.
Mhm.
You are not their friend, you're their parent. You can be their friend later, and that inherently makes them feel safer and more protected, and they have a great deal of respect for you, even if they're not thrilled about it.
And I just feel like, God, they're going to be excited because they get to have something that makes them feel older and like access to something.
Yeah.
That's how at least my kids will feel because they don't really have any solo use of technology. So anything will be exciting.
Yeah, I just wanna say, I know you say this to people out in the world, but, like, I just wanna say to you, like, I'm so proud of you and thankful to you for leading this example. Like, man, I wish your podcast existed 15 years ago,
Hmm.
you know? Like,
Yeah.
you are changing childhood. You're helping children have safer childhoods. You're helping
Hmm.
parents be better, more informed parents. So, like, thank you.
Somebody's got to say it. And we do get a lot of, there's naysayers, there's people saying fear mongering. It's not that big of a deal, but it is that big of a deal, especially when you've looked at all the research, all the studies, all the test accounts, talked to hundreds of parents whose children have been harmed or lost because of something that happened through the exposure of the iPhone and all of the apps that come on there.
And it really pisses me off every day. I'll open LinkedIn, I'll open Instagram, I check my emails, and there's a post from Laura Marquez Garrett
Mhm.
or Jonathan Haidt's team, the After Babel blog, and I'm like, it just keeps coming, and
I
it's
know.
never good news. It's always bad news, more bad things, more kids have been harmed, and we all knew it. We've been sounding the alarm, but it's like, how many people are going to have to share what happened to children before things change? I
Right.
just read, I think very recently, that Meta finally removed hundreds of thousands of potential child predator accounts.
Listen, why did those exist in the first place? Number one. How many more are there? You're not telling us what percentage of total. Like they can't remove millions because they'll see a drop in their profits and their shareholders won't be happy. So they're just like giving us a little, but not. I've been reviewing that Meta update and deciding how I want to react to it because it's important to celebrate wins
Yes.
and like give credit for the efforts.
Yeah.
But also, I'm always so skeptical.
And also because you and I both know that they already knew about this,
I know,
at least when Paul Rafale brought it to their attention. That
right?
was over a year ago.
I know.
What took so long?
And then you just imagine them in a boardroom being like, okay, what's the least possible thing we can do to like shut up all these people? Like that's what I feel like the conversations are. And listen, putting public pressure on these companies is important. Passing laws is important. Responsibility should not be all on the parents. But unfortunately, right now, it kind of is. And so when it's our decisions about what tech exposures we allow for our children that will dictate whether or not they're
Yeah.
harmed. And again, you can do everything right and they still could be harmed, but let's at least choose the safe phone for them when it comes time.
When it's time.
Yeah. And I have one more last question. So,
Mhm.
just to wrap us up, what do you hope parents do differently when it comes to that first phone decision?
Not go with an iPhone. Like, for the love of all things informed, intelligent parenting decisions, we now know enough to confidently say that giving your child an iPhone is a bad choice for their first phone. It just is. You want to fight me in the comments? I'll go head to head. We'll drop links, we'll drop data, we'll help you understand why we're coming to you with this.
Mhm.
So it's not never for an iPhone. I have an iPhone. I love my iPhone. But your child's first smartphone or smart device, watch, whatever, should not be Apple.
Right.
Period. Go with a safer option. It doesn't have to be Bark. Go with anything else but Apple.
Yeah. And we had another discussion similar to this Spark phone versus iPhone last year that I'll link to in the episode notes, which I think gives more of their research because we're coming to you as like informed, adults that work in this space. And we have very strong opinions on this because of all the research that we've done and the stories that we've heard and all of the data. So if anyone has questions about this decision, please reach out before you make it because it's really important to do the research and engage with this choice and really think long and hard because once you go with that adult phone, it's hard to go back. It's
Yeah.
hard to undo any harms or traumas that can happen through it. And so just like take the time in that choice, I think is something I would leave parents with.
I love that. Well said. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you guys for, oh my gosh, for investing years and time and resources into helping parents do the best job we can, given this scary world that we live in. But there's hope because we have tools to help us, and we have each other to lean on and kind of join together in our safer choices. So, Titania, thank you for your time today, as always, and I'll talk soon.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.